On this episode of Designing Spaces, we'll hear from the experts regarding fumigation and heat services, the most effective whole structure treatment option for eradicating a variety of pests. It's time to design. Let's go. Pest infestations are a significant concern for homeowners, businesses, and agricultural land. While many methods exist to control or eliminate pests, fumigation remains one of the most effective strategies for dealing with severe infestations. Let's explore the fumigation process, its benefits, safety considerations, and when it's the right choice for pest control.
In Southern California, it's not a matter of if you will have an infestation of termites, but when. Having recurring inspections scheduled with a reputable company to come out to your property and verify whether or not you have infestations of termites is very important. By having them come out every few years, you can ultimately save yourselves quite a bit of money by identifying those infestations early, where they can make treatments to them rather than letting those go and then requiring massive amounts of wood repair along with a whole structure treatment. So having an inspection protocol already established and having them come out every few years can really save you some time and money as well. In commercial settings, a lot of times like in multi-unit properties, we'll face real serious problems with bed bugs. You can have one or two units that become infested initially, and suddenly those infestations can spread to other units rapidly, and you can end up with multiple units where they need to have a whole structure treatment performed on those. And in agricultural settings, we use the similar fumigants to take care of mostly stored product pests like Indian meal moth and grain beetles. We'll do applications for those fumigation applications to eradicate those pests in silos or in bins or in containers where those infestations get into the food supply. And so we'll eradicate those so that the food product can still be used.
Quality Pest Services specializes in performing fumigation and heat, which has been proven to rid whole structures of drywood termites.
There are a lot of options that are available to the consumer. The one thing that I would say is that these options are all evaluated by the Department of Consumer Affairs throughout the state of California, and they're placed into two basic categories, and that's whole structure treatments or spot or localized treatments. The only two technologies that are recognized as whole structure treatments are fumigation and whole structure volumetric heat applications. Reputable companies will utilize whatever tool is best based on the findings when they perform the inspection. If they find that there are very limited areas and the infestation is not that heavy, they can use one of those local or spot treatments to eradicate the infestation. When the infestations are heavier or lead into inaccessible areas, then the law actually requires that they call for a whole structure treatment at that time. Termites are tough. They are not easy to find. They are cryptic. They can hide in areas that you won't locate. You can find them in the easy to spot areas, but oftentimes those infestations can go into many other locations as well. With a spot or localized treatment, you're literally limited to the effectiveness of the visual inspection by that pest management professional. If he doesn't find spots, then they're not going to treat them. And then those infestations will continue to flourish. With a whole structure treatment, the silver lining is we don't have to find all of them. We wrap the home in the tarps, we introduce the fumigant underneath the tarpaulins, and then the gas does its work. It goes into all the different nooks and crannies of the home and eradicates the termite infestations, not only the ones that were readily found, but also the ones maybe that were missed. The most commonly targeted pest is the drywood termite. Along with that, there are many others that are treated with fumigation as well. Bed bugs have become more and more prevalent, probably over the last 10 to 20 years. We also do clothes moths, silverfish, rodents, even different types of wood-boring beetles can infest wood, and those are treated with fumigation as well. Our company is one of the only companies, I believe, that actually conduct monitoring on every fumigation that we perform. On the larger properties, we actually even have devices that we place on the interior of the property. They're known as remote data acquisition devices, and they take real-time readings, and we're able to log in on the internet and see exactly what the concentration levels are while the fumigation is ongoing On the standard residential properties, we take readings at the conclusion of the exposure period and verify that it's held the fumigant for an adequate amount of time and see what the terminal reading is what we look at. So that's the concentration that's left after the exposure period is complete. And so we can actually calculate based on the amount of fumigant that was put in at the beginning to what's left at the end, we can verify that it's been adequate to eradicate the target pest.
Quality Pest Services features a team of knowledgeable and well-trained professionals, ensuring your safety throughout the entire process.
We do an interior inspection with the homeowners to make sure that all people, pets, food and plants are vacated. Then we do an exterior inspection to make sure that all vegetation is clear enough to get a proper seal on the structure. We then tent the property, check to make sure we've got proper seal around the entire structure. Then we lock up the structures to make sure there's no entry during the process. Introduce the fumigant, that's on the first day. Second day, we take a measurement of the fumigant readings inside the structure to make sure we held enough fumigant to complete the job. When that is determined, we start the aeration process from the exterior of the tent and let that sit for a minimum of 12 hours. The third day we come back, remove the tent and walk an electronic clearance device throughout the whole structure inside to make sure there's no more traces of the fumigant. That's where the California Aeration Plan, also referred to as CAP, comes into play. That ensures the safety of workers, homeowners, and the public. All of our employees are mandated to go through a safety training yearly to ensure the proper handling of Vicane fumigant.
There's a lot of safety that's built into the process of fumigation. We are highly regulated and the state inspects us on a regular basis. There's initial and ongoing training requirements for myself and all of our employees that actually perform the work. We're regulated to make sure that this is done in a safe and efficacious manner on a regular basis. Vicane gas fumigant is an actual true gas. And so unlike almost all other pesticides that are used, it's not a liquid. It doesn't leave droplets or a residue behind after the application is performed. Really the key is to hold it into the property for a long enough time so that it can eradicate the pests. The insects actually respire it. It's not a result of the fumigant getting on them or anything like that, which is unlike the other pesticides that are like liquid treatments. So after a fumigation is performed, we conduct the aeration, we verify it's safe. Dishes and countertops, linens, none of that stuff needs to be washed or cleaned afterwards. Even when we perform settings like restaurants and even hospitals, they don't do any kind of special cleaning after the fumigation is complete.
Now that you understand the situation, it's time to set up the tenting.
We ask that the homeowners have all of their food and medications bagged, their plants cut back from their home so that we're able to drop a tent, accommodations for themselves for 3 days and 2 nights, and including their pets. We ask that they have everything ready for the crew before they arrive. And if they have any questions, they usually ask us the night before when we give them the ETA of arrival. So once the job is called in, we put the information into our system. If it is a larger property or a job that the prime contractor feels that there might be an obstacle, we send someone out from our office to check the property and make sure that there are not going to be any issues for our fumigation crew before they arrive. We want to make sure that we get all issues or obstacles, anything that's going to get in the way to cancel the job, handled prior to our crew's arrival. Once we get that job request, we go ahead and enter it into the gas company website. And at that time, we submit our gas shutoff. Once we receive confirmation, we have it entered into our system and we know that the crew is then safely able to proceed with their job.
We are known across the state of California as the premier fumigator, but we do offer other services as well. One of those being volumetric heat, which has many options for the customer. One being it's a non-chemical treatment. We're able to go in there and treat their home for termites without using any type of fumigant. Also, another reason would be time frame. You don't have to be out of the home for multiple days. It can be done in 1 day, and they can return that same evening to a safe environment. Another great reason for using volumetric heat would be for properties such as condos and townhomes that have common walls and attached to other properties. We can actually focus the heat in one area or one unit and it will be safe for both the homeowner and the neighbor as well, so we can isolate the heat to certain sections. For every service that we provide, the homeowner is given a preparation sheet that explains the process and the preparation that's needed for their safety and the safety of our employees on site. Another service that we do provide is our insulation service, which is great for homeowners that are dealing with rodent activity. We can go in there and remove the infected or contaminated insulation, whether it be droppings or urine, remove it. We can go in there, vacuum and sanitize the attic, and then reinstall new insulation. The product that we use is a TAP, and that stands for Thermal-Acoustical Pest Control product. That can help protect the homeowner as well from other insects. So other services that we do offer would be our exclusion and wood repair. Exclusion to go ahead and help seal any entry points that rodents may be getting into. And that same team can go ahead and take care of any minor wood repair that needs to be done, such as fascia boards and rafter tails.
The inspection is a crucial step in the process.
The inspection process entails probing the exterior wood members, looking for signs of drywood termites. In addition to that, we're looking for signs of fungus, basically a WDO organism, so any wood-destroying organism. So that involves fungus, water damage. In this particular structure, we found signs of drywood termites. So when we probed the wood was compromised in some areas, which indicated a colony of drywood termites. In addition to the exterior, we're checking the full interior. The main part of our inspection is checking the attic. That's commonly the most prevalent area that you'll find signs of drywood termites, whether you find signs of fecal matter, frass, or actual termites or their wings in the attic space. So it's a full top to bottom inspection, and we're checking everywhere that has wood, basically. Fumigation is far and away the most effective treatment method. In terms of other treatment options, localized treatments has its place, but you're limited to the areas that you can find and physically treat by drilling and injecting a termiticide. Fumigation, the gas will permeate and get into all the accessible and inaccessible areas, and it's 100% effective. To let the customers know that with 100% certainty, fumigation exterminated all stages of drywood termites in all the areas of their home, that's what makes us feel good about the services that we provide.
The one thing I would say for homeowners is make sure that you plan on having your home inspected at least every year or two. These infestations, if found early, then maybe a local or spot treatment can be effective to taking care of it. But having a plan and making sure that you're taking care of those things on a regular basis can save you money in the long run. You know, in Southern California, it's not if you have termites, but when you will have termites. Because of the weather conditions and everything else that makes for optimal conditions for those infestations, they're everywhere. And probably every property is fumigated on a schedule of about every 10 to 15 years. But if you have your home regularly inspected, it's very possible that you won't need to have that treatment done possibly for 20 years. So having a plan like that, having a regular company that you work with is a very good idea. Make sure that you're very selective about the companies that you use too. Oftentimes people believe that this service is homogeneous and they can contact any company and they're all sort of the same. That isn't necessarily the case. You might want to verify, kind of do your homework, check on the referral basis of the other companies that you're considering, and try to be selective in the company that you partner with.
The biggest aftercare tip that I can give is to make sure that all the signs of infestation have been cleaned up. If you identify termites in the attic, you perform a fumigation, there's nothing that actually cleans them up except a person to go up there and clean them up, so you can tell if there's new signs of infestation. That's the biggest tip, is to fix the damage and to make sure that all the evidence is cleaned up so old infestations don't appear to be new for future inspection. The good news about having a fumigation completed is you know it's done correctly with Quality Pest.
By choosing fumigation, you are opting for a proven method that ensures peace of mind, knowing that your property is pest-free and protected from future infestations.
Working with Quality Pest has been an enjoyable experience because they're always on time, always on budget, and knowledgeable and professional from my experience. We're flipping houses and we're selling them to a buyer. It's a much more turnkey product, so they expect it to be termite free. So almost every house has a termite inspection. That process is usually just letting the inspector know, hey, we need to send you out to the house, give us a report. They turn around the report. It's negotiated between us, the seller, and the buyer that they want like a Section 1 termite clearance, which usually entails a fumigation. We sign some paperwork and let them have access to the property. They come over, put the tent on, whatever wood repairs need to be completed are done usually by the termite company or our contractor directly. And then they issue us that Section 1 termite clearance, which goes back to the buyer and to their lender. If they're getting a VA loan or an FHA loan, then they usually need that Section 1 termite clearance to satisfy the lender.
It brings me great joy to hear that our guys did an amazing job. I like to hear when customers turn around and they tell us it was easier than they thought, they worried for no reason, that the process just went altogether smoothly. I love that our guys go that extra mile on helping with something that the homeowner didn't know needed to be removed or bagged, and that the homeowner always feels that they need to let us know how great our guys were doing. It means at the end of the day, we all did our jobs right. Quality is what we provide, and quality is what it's all about.
We have 225 families that work with our company throughout our 10 office locations in California. We try to do a lot, to be supportive of the different civic activities and programs that those families are involved with. Quality Pest Services actually established an annual scholarship fund through one of the Navy organizations that I was a member of all the way back to my active military days, that's providing scholarship funding on an annual basis, and we're really happy about that. Probably the single biggest thing that we've done though recently, and this is something that we're very proud of, is we work together with our colleagues, Noel and Ryan Goins of Goins Pest Control. They started Keep It Goins, which is a nonprofit, and what their design and attempt to do is to provide pest control services for the underprivileged and the people who can't afford to have this services paid for out of their own pocket. Earlier this year, we did an application in downtown LA for the Clark family, a family of 5. They had been living with a bedbug infestation for over 7 years and could not afford to have any kind of treatments done. And we worked with Ryan and Noel, and we did the fumigation work for them for free and helped that family get back their self-esteem and get away from the terrible infestation that they had to suffer for and through, for that length of time. We are looking to partner with other opportunities to help people that are in need of all the services that we provide, and try to get folks back on their feet when needed. One of the things that I really appreciate is when we do projects like last year we actually fumigated the Mission in Oceanside, historic landmark property. That one was about 3 million cubic feet, which is a large project. Took roughly 70 or 80 guys to do that project in 4 days. Property was the first Mission built in the state of California, and to be able to be a part of protecting that, historic landmark property is a real special treat.
If you are dealing with a large-scale pest problem, or if pests are hidden deep within your property, fumigation might just be your best solution.
As homeowners, you want to make sure, as mentioned previously, have your homes inspected on a recurring basis. That is a good process to save yourself money in the long run. If you identify infestations early, they can be treated quickly, and that will save you money from having to pay for wood repair and those sort of things. Also, stay observant yourself. Look for the pellets and signs of swarming termites or wings, things like that. If you see any of those, contact that termite company and let them know to take a look at that as well. And then lastly, make sure that you're partnering with a reputable company. Make sure you do your homework and verify that they are a good company and that they're doing the work that you would want them to do. Not all services are the same, and if you've liked what you've heard here and you like what we do, please feel free to ask for Quality by name. We appreciate that.
To find out more about Quality Pest Services, visit qualitypestservices.net or watch this segment again at designingspaces.tv. For more information about anything you've seen on today's show, or to become part of Designing Spaces, go to our website, designingspaces.tv.